Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are going to begin 4.6. This is congruence and overlapping triangles. And today we're just going to be focusing on recognizing overlapping triangles and be able to identify congruent parts in those triangles. Okay. So first of all, looking here, identifying parts of congruent triangles. So figure ABCD is a rectangle with diagonals AC and BD. It's important to be able to identify overlapping triangles when we're trying to prove this congruency here. So if I'm looking at these triangles, we kind of want to be able to see, what triangles we have that we're looking at here. So if we look at this triangle ABC right here, and if we look at the triangle here, there's another triangle here. And sometimes it helps to actually separate the triangles. Okay, so if I actually separate this pink triangle out, and say, here is my triangle B, and then AC here. And if I can separate this green triangle out, this is a right triangle here. We have D, C, and B. It's easier to tell which sides correspond to each other. Okay, here we know that AB corresponds to BC, DC. Angle B corresponds to angle C, and then BC corresponds to BC because it's a shared side right here. Okay, and so sometimes pulling them apart and writing them helps you kind of identify the congruent parts, corresponding parts. Okay, so we're looking here. What are the corresponding sides of the angles in triangle FHJ and KHG? And so first of all, which triangles are we talking about? So sometimes when you're looking at all these, they look kind of like there's all kinds of triangles in it, right? So we're talking about FHJ. So here's one of my triangles here, FHJ. So this triangle right here. And our other triangle is this KHG. Okay, so KHG here. Didn't draw that too good, but that's okay. All right. And so what are the corresponding sides and angles? Well, notice we have a shared angle right here. Okay, so kind of watch and pay attention to that whenever we have shared sides or shared angles. Okay, pay attention to that before you separate them. Okay, so then I can separate this angle, this green triangle here, and I'll have my angle H up here, and I have my J over here and F, and I can mark that H was congruent, and this FJ is congruent because of a segment addition postulate. Okay, because if I add the 1 and the 2 together, I can get that congruent together. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put my purple or pink, whatever color that is, triangle together here, and that will be H, and then K and F, or sorry, G right here. And again, this is 1 plus 2, which I'm just going to call it as 3. Okay, those are congruent together. My H is also congruent because it shared that same angle up there, and then my K is marked as congruent down here. Okay, so my corresponding parts are angles H and H of themselves. My F corresponds to angle K. My G corresponds to angle J and G, sorry. FJ corresponds to GK. HJ corresponds to HG. And then FH corresponds to HK. Okay, so once you get them kind of all separated and get the parts labeled, it's easier to tell which ones correspond to which triangle. Okay. Now going on, we're going to say, well, is angle EGD congruent to angle EFH? So which ones are we talking about here? So angle EGD, so is this angle here, does that correspond to angle EFH? So here, EFH over here, we want to know, do those correspond? Well, we kind of want to be able to see, which triangles. It's easy to say, well, maybe we're talking about this triangle in here. Well, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. We know that this is the whole big triangle here is an isosceles triangle. So we know that those base angles must be equal. Right here, base angles must be equal. Okay, and I'm actually going to put this, well, no, I won't. I'll just deal with this. Okay, so what we have here now is, if we take this triangle right here, this big triangle right here, okay, we have a overlapping segment right here. Okay, so we would have a side angle side on that triangle. Okay, if you can see that. I might need to separate that out for you. We take this big triangle over here. We have a similar thing. We have this side DG because we have the 1 plus a 2. Whoops, sorry about that. I don't know what is going on there. Erase that for you. There we go. So this 1 plus 2 right here segment is equal to the 1 plus 2 over here. Okay. The angle here is congruent to the side there, so you have side angle side congruency. Okay. If I need to draw it out, I would draw my D, E, G. Okay. My G is what we're trying to prove. I know that my D is congruent. I know that my DE is congruent. I know that F, or my DG, is by segment addition is going to be congruent to each other. Okay. Over here, if I have my triangle here, not drawn to scale, by the way, EHG, I know that my angle H is congruent. We determined that. We know that EH is congruent, and we know this one is also congruent because of that angle addition postulate, or segment addition postulate. So because of that, we have side angle side and side angle side. So therefore, we know that this should have been F right here. Sorry about that. This should be F. So we know that angle F and angle G must be then congruent because the whole triangles are congruent. So therefore, by CPCTC, angle F and angle G are congruent. Okay, so this is kind of the informal process we're going to go through. Tomorrow we'll start talking about, or next time, we'll start talking about how to put these into a proof. But right now we're just going to kind of start doing an informal process of trying to show these different parts congruent. Okay, so you guys go ahead and try this. You might want to try it and pause this and see if you can work through this on your own. So our VW and ZY congruent. So we're looking at these sides right here, VW and ZY. So I'm going to try to, the hardest part here is trying to figure out which triangles we want to try to prove are congruent. So I'm looking at this right here, because I know I have this little angle down here, right? I have this angle, and I have this big angle also, because it's an angle addition postulate. The little angle plus the big angle is congruent to this guy over here, the little angle plus the big angle. So I have this triangle here, right? I have this little angle over here, plus the little big angle. Okay. If I draw these out separately, Y, Z, V, I know that the V is got that marking. Z is congruent because I can add the two little triangles together, and I share the segment VZ. Okay. If I look at my little green triangle over here, not very good drawing my triangles right now. It's hard to draw vertically. I have WVZ, and my Z has this little marking down here. I have this guy here that is my little one plus my big one, and I have VZ also, whoops, single hash, congruent to itself. So I have angle side angle congruent to angle side angle. So I know that my triangles are congruent, so therefore I know that my VW is congruent to ZY. Okay? So you have an assignment on 4.6 day 1. It's in Excel. Do not forget to attach your work to that assignment. And the next time we'll start talking about proofs. Okay? See you all on the flip side and have a good night. Bye-bye.